The World Cup is coming to Kansas City, and we're discussing some of the top hamstring injuries that we see here in the clinic that we've also treated in the past, and some of the ones that might be popping up, fingers crossed, hopefully not, during the upcoming World Cup stuff that's coming all across the nation. So last week we discussed ankle sprains. This week we're going to be discussing hamstring strains. Hamstring strains typically happen, not all the time, but typically happen actually up where they insert, and that's basically right up underneath the butt cheek on the back side. And why is that there? It's because, well, that's kind of where the muscle starts. What typically happens, especially as the game goes on, as the body gets tired, the hamstring starts to get a little bit more tired. The hamstring actually starts to lose a little bit of strength, a little bit of endurance. And if you start to run really fast, cut really hard, something like that, the hamstring can just kind of, basically just go out, and kind of. It's basically a very, very small micro tear in the fibers themselves in the muscle. But what the good news of that is those do heal with proper treatment and rehab. There's not really bad news along with that, other than the fact that you just have this really high, deep pain underneath the glutes, kind of the bottom portion for a while until this clears up and goes away. One of the things that we look for in the clinic, how we treat that here, is we look at just in general, hamstring helps move the hip joint. We're going to see how well your hip joint is moving. If it's restricted or have a hard time moving in certain ways, that's not really irritating that hamstring tendon when we're moving around. And we can get some mobility back in that. Fantastic. We're going to start attacking that. We're also going to directly work on the hamstring itself to try to get some pain relief, to try to get some stuff swelling to calm down, try to get some endurance and some strength back into it slowly as we go as well. What that looks like, it can be some manual, some like hands-on, some like active release techniques, some kind of muscle work. It can be some muscle scraping. We can use tape for it. We can have a couple different dry needling varieties we can try to really kind of get stuff to calm down and get suited for you and what's going on and where it's at. Along with that, we're going to start some type of probably hamstring strength and treatment. And that's going to look very similar to some a couple different versions of deadlifts of some type, getting some hip hinges in there. Another big one in the strength and conditioning world is called the Copenhagen Copenhagen hamstring curl. Sure, something like that. But it's basically working the strength of the hamstring at the knee itself, and it hits quite a bit and has direct impact on what's going on with the entire hamstring group itself. Hamstrings, there's actually 4 of them, so it can be one of the 4 that you injure, can sometimes be 2 of the 4, or something kind of along those lines as well. So also the other thing we gotta look at is, where is that hamstring injured? Is it more deep inside the rear end pain, or a little bit more towards the outside? It also tends to tell us which hamstring has been a little bit more injured. The good news is, like I said, though, those do heal with the right treatment, the right rehab, and you can get back on track. Some of those have happened fairly quickly. Some of them take a course of 6, 8, 12 weeks to really get back to where you're back to full playing ability and stuff like that. But those do heal. Patience is required. And if you're in the Kansas City area and you're having some hamstring issues, some hip issues, let us know. We're always taking on new patients. We'd love to help you out. And until then, guys, have a great day.